the next 90 days. No hype, no fluff, just your truth forging inside that time window. Imagine standing at the edge of a chasm. On one side, everything you've known. On the other, everything you could become. But to cross, you'll have to leap. And the ground beneath you, that's the next 90 days. This isn't about what you'll do. It's about who you decide to become. And right now, the world is offering you a choice. Will these days break you or build you? Because life doesn't care how much you want to change. It cares about what you actually do. And over 90 days, those actions either erode you or elevate you. You're not just running the clock, you're drawing the blueprint of your next year. Every day is a line. These days don't pass. They write. Your mindset, that's where the groundwork begins. Mindset isn't a mood. It's a method, a framework, a way of thinking that has been sharpened by choice, repetition, and relentless discipline. Most people wake up and think, how do I feel? But winners wake up and ask, what will I decide? Because 90 days of greatness isn't born of excitement. It's born of daily, deliberate decisions today, tomorrow, the day after. When your alarm goes off, when your past yells to stay still, when your body begs for comfort, that's the battlefield. And if you don't win the morning wins you. Napoleon Hill said belief is the starting point of all achievement. But belief alone isn't enough. It's belief turned into habits. Belief carved into your routine. Belief that whispers, I will, even when everything in you begs to quit. And that's where clarity enters, providing purpose to your grind. A life lived without clarity is like moving in fog. You bump into motivations that look like detours. You follow advice that feels like distraction. You pursue goals that echo other people's dreams, not yours, but clarity. It's the light that cuts through noise. It's the compass that whispers this direction. Not what feels good, not what's easy, what matters. Over the next 90 days, clarity becomes your radar. It draws your lines. It aligns your habits. It makes discipline feel sacred because now it's not just about showing up. It's about honoring what's worth winning. Now vision isn't a daydream. It's a 3D map of where you're going, built in your mind's eye so real you can feel the altitude under your feet. Ford saw assembly lines. Disney saw kingdoms. Edison saw electric light. Your vision, it doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be yours. And it has to be clear. 90 days is long enough to change trajectory, but only if vision leads not panic, not past, not popularity. Vision is what pulls you out of bed at 4 a.m. when the world is asleep. It's what keeps you going when your muscles beg for rest. It's what keeps your fingers typing at midnight, speaking on stage at noon, and choosing discipline over comfort at breakfast. Purpose is fire. Not excitement, not fleeting inspiration, but deep internal heat that doesn't burn out. It fuels hard days, hard weeks, hard months, and over 90 days, purpose does something rare. It turns discipline from struggle to devotion. Because devotion doesn't need applause. Devotion burns in the blind spots. In the moments no one sees the grind that no one shares, that's where you build resilience. Resilience isn't bouncing back. It's bouncing forward. It's taking the hits, learning the lessons, and using them to push through pain into power. By day 30, fatigue arrives. By day 60, doubt creeps in. By day 90, the question will echo, can I keep going? That's the test. Not of talent, not of opportunity, but of will. Will says yes when you feel no. Will stays when distractions knock. Will stays when influencers fade. When fire goes cold. When opportunity looks but doesn't stop. And make no mistake, 90 days of will isn't survival, it's transformation. And to close this first phase, your next 90 days won't just happen. They won't sneak up on you. They'll answer to the standards you set today. Set higher, set smart, set uncomfortable. Because a challenge accepted is a victory claimed. A habit built today becomes a habit strengthened tomorrow. And 90 days of disciplined repetition, that becomes your new identity. warrior, leader, creator. So wake up, start building. Choose your seriousness, choose your solitude. Walk into the next 90 days like you've been waiting your whole life for this moment. Because maybe you have. The next 90 days will demand something deeper than motivation. They'll require discipline. Motivation is emotional. It rises with the sun, fades with the fog, disappears when no one's watching. But discipline is carved into your DNA through repetition, through the boring, the quiet, the consistent. It's not sexy, it's not loud, it's not romanticized, but it builds what motivation never could, unshakable identity. Discipline says I do it whether I feel like it or not. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel, it tells you who you are. Think of Carnegie. Day after day, he studied the habits of great men. He didn't wait for lightning, he hunted it. And when he found it, he caged it in his rituals. Every decision, every habit, every response to adversity was intentional, trained, disciplined, because the world doesn't reward potential. It rewards execution. In the next 90 days, you will be tested. You will be tempted. You will be asked over and over again, are you the type of person who finishes what they start? And if you can't answer with your actions, then the answer is no. Discipline is survival, discipline is war. And if you don't command your day, your doubt will. But beyond the mindset, the purpose, and the will, you'll need to move. Action. Not overthinking, not mental rehearsal, not another journal entry or motivational video. Action. Massive, imperfect, immediate. You don't get stronger by planning to lift the weight. You get stronger by lifting, failing, lifting again. You build the muscle of courage the same way you build any muscle, by using it. You cannot read your way into boldness. You cannot study your way into greatness. Edison didn't theorize the light bulb into existence. He failed into it. 10,000 misfires, and every single one was action. Real, risky, repetitive. What's your excuse again? You say you don't have time. But time is not your issue, priorities are. You've made scrolling your habit and self-doubt your anthem. You've let fear drive your schedule and comfort design your future. But you don't have time not to change, because the life you want isn't waiting, it's moving. Every minute you waste waiting for ready, your dream gets further away. You don't need more time. You need a moment, one decision, one leap, one line in the sand where the old you dies and the new you gets born through fire. And then you back it up with every sunrise, every rep, every sacrifice. Now comes the hard truth most won't tell you these 90 days. They won't be fair. You'll give 100% and feel like you're getting 10% back. You'll show up and results won't. You'll bleed and wonder if it matters. And in that moment, you'll want to quit. But that moment is the moment. Because the process doesn't test your passion. It tests your persistence. Do you want it when it's ugly? Do you want it when it's slow? Do you want it when no one claps, when no one texts, when no one believes? Can you show up when the only one who believes is you? That's what separates the remembered from the forgotten. You don't have to do it all today. You don't have to leap every mountain in a single bound. But you do have to move every single day. Small steps, repeated with obsession. That's how empires are built. That's how identities are reforged. But make no mistake, the hardest part isn't the start, it's the stretch, the middle. The part where no one claps, no one sees, and the old voices get loud again. You wake up tired, the excitement's gone. The novelty has worn off. This is the graveyard of most dreams. Right here in the middle of a 90-day war with yourself. And the people who lose here, they don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they expected the fire to last. But greatness isn't built in fire, it's built in the ashes that come after the fire. When you have to build your own flame, strike your own spark, get up with no applause, no external pressure, just internal standard. Because this is when your identity begins to shift. It doesn't shift in inspiration, it shifts in consistency. And if you keep showing up when it's not sexy, when it's not fun, when it's just hard, you are carving new roads in your brain. You're rewiring your nervous system to say, this is who we are now, not because it's trending, not because it's on a vision board, but because you decided and you refuse to negotiate that decision anymore. Negotiation is how average survives. But you're not here for average. You are here to execute. And that means you need to protect your energy, not your excuses. It means you stop giving your feelings the final say. It means you stop just visiting discipline and start living there. How you move in the next 90 days will determine how the next 9 years will unfold. Because here's the secret. Nobody says out loud. Most people aren't punished for lack of talent. They're punished for delay. For watching too long, waiting too long, doubting too long, and then opportunity moved on. But discipline, it doesn't wait on opportunity. Discipline creates it. And when you master that, you stop chasing your future, you meet it. So let the rest wait for permission. Let the world hit snooze again. You rise. You were built for this. Act like it. By now the concept has landed. You know the time ahead is more than days on a calendar. It's a crucible. But knowing isn't enough. These next 90 days demand action. Not flurries of motion disguised as progress, but precision action, the kind that silently sculpts your destiny while others scroll, sleep, or settle. Action is not drama. It's daily. It's quiet. It's forging steel in the early hours. It's showing up to speak even when your voice shakes. It's choosing the extra rep, the extra hour, the extra edge. It's transforming hesitation into habits, because habits are the architecture of your life. The world marvels at results. Few understand the repeat that produced them. Edison didn't strike light on accident. It was tens of thousands of repetitions, failures, and refinements until breakthrough arrived. That's why you won't just try this. You'll commit to it. Day 31, fatigue surfaces. You'll ask for a break. Don't permit it. Day 45, distractions whisper. You don't entertain them. Day 60, the applause fades. You keep working. Day 75, the doubt roars. You whisper back, not today. Day 90, you look in the mirror and ask who stood here with me. Discipline is your secret engine. It doesn't lie in motivation, it lies in structure, in the schedule that survives exhaustion, in the rituals that persist when the fire dims, in the uncompromising vow you made before the world offered you comfort. Discipline is rising even when the bed is warm, doing when everything screams stop, finishing when energy drains. Stay no excuse. Shelter no compromise. Treat discipline like your lineage because it is. Napoleon Hill said discipline comes through self-control. Your self-control begins when no one else is watching. The grind in solitude, the return to standards, no matter how your body or ego feels, is where your greatness shelters itself until it's ready to conquer. But the next pillar, gratitude. Odd paradox, while you're pushing forward relentlessly, you must also look back with reverence. Gratitude is not for the weak. It's for the awakened. It recognizes the value in every struggle. It turns breakpoints into breakthroughs. It transforms I can't into I've grown. Each hardship becomes a teacher. Each setback a blueprint. Each obstacle an opportunity in disguise. Gratitude keeps you mentally agile. It prevents entitlement. It reveals that this journey, however challenging, is also a gift you get to walk through because most don't even begin. Gratitude at day 45 turns raw effort into refined excellence. It turns a grind into a grace. And grace is not a weakness, it's the hack of the unconquerable spirit. Adaptability is next. Because here's the unspoken truth. Resistance will come, not just from within, but from without. Plans unravel. Trends shift. Tides change. You'll encounter moments when what worked yesterday collapses. Your vision may stay constant, but your strategy must pivot. Ford didn't cling to a buggy factory. As cars replaced horses, he evolved into assembly lines. He adapted until his vision became unstoppable reality. So in these 90 days, you won't fixate on rigidity. You'll cultivate fluidity. You'll learn when to double down and when to redirect. And while others panic, you will pivot with purpose. Your stability comes not from staying still, but from staying true to your vision, no matter the method. Which brings us to resilience. Not just bouncing back, but bouncing forward. It's the steel forged in resilience that refuses to stay down. Edison, Lincoln, Mandela, none were immune to collapse, but each chose to rise with more wisdom, more power, more dignity. Day 62 may be a project fails, launch bombs, relationship fractures, body rebels, mind stutters. You risk collapse. This is the test. Do you pause or push through? Resilience isn't built from comfort. It is born in shattering moments. It's the grand culmination of grit, perspective, and the tenacity to carry on with faith in form. And 90 days gives you enough crucible to temper that steel if you don't waver. And don't misunderstand, this isn't about becoming hard. It's about becoming whole. And whole people learn faster, evolve stronger, lead better. That brings us to learning. Not random knowledge, not clicks and skim, but purposeful growth. You'll choose one or two disciplines, mental, physical, spiritual, then go deep. You'll read daily, practice deliberately, take notes, iterate, share, fail, adapt, rise again, simplify to multiply, master slow to explode forward, become the student and the teacher. In 90 days, you won't just learn, you'll level up. And that's how transformation becomes permanent. You see, these pillars, action, discipline, gratitude, adaptability, resilience, learning, aren't separate. They're concentric rings of growth. Each circle supports the next. Remove one and the structure collapses. Embrace them all and you build something unshakable. These next 90 days require you to live with urgency and intention, not overwhelm, but intelligent intensity. Each morning you ask, what am I building today? How will I honor my vision? Who will I become with this decision? And then you do it with courage, with clarity, with craft. But let's step back for a moment. This is bigger than habits or goals. It's about identity. Because 90 days of living at this frequency will do one thing: rewrite your story in your DNA. No longer are you someone who tries. You are someone who wins. Not because of results, but because of who you've chosen to become. Someone who finishes. Someone who masters. Someone who emerges when others shrink. That identity becomes your lifelong currency, because when glimpsed, it cannot be ignored. People sense it. Doors open. Credibility gets built. The world starts to respond not because you chased attention, but because you earned identity. These 90 days, they aren't optional. They're inevitable. Either the world breaks you or you build through it. Either your story gets pulled along by chaos or you pull the world into alignment with your vision. No longer will you say tomorrow. No longer will you say someday. No longer will you settle for possibility instead of authority. You were made for more. You were given challenges for growth. You were handed time to create. So now decide and move, and then you begin. Now, at this moment, with fierce conviction that these 90 days will either define you or be defined by you. Your next 90 days are not just a season. They are your foundation. What do you choose? After 90 days, the mirror confronts you again. Not the mirror of your face, but the mirror of your soul. Who are you now? When the world pulled the rug, did you stand? When desperate, did you answer with resolve? When fatigue tried to rewrite your ending, did you rewrite your beginning? Because this won't be a story of perfect days. It will be a story of unwavering decisions, of sunrises caught before alarm clocks, of nights surrendered to growth, not ease, of a body that screams. This is not simply improvement, it's redefinition. A metamorphosis born in routine, forged in adversity, and hardened by clarity. Your mindset has become your fortress. No longer does doubt linger, it recoils. Now there's a quiet confidence, not swagger, but certainty. Your belief has turned into conviction, a conviction stamped into your bones. Every I will has become a step, a habit, a part of you. Your clarity has created alignment. Time once wasted in noise now becomes purpose. Every choice trimmed and sharpened like arrows aimed at your future. Your vision has built altitude. Your purpose blazed the path. When nothing makes sense, it makes sense. When everything hurts, it justifies the pain. Because you weren't here to hope. You were here to act. Action became your anthem. Not occasional, but daily. Every day a brick. Each month a wall rises into the sky of your potential. Gratitude became your fuel. Not because things got easier, but because your soul learned to see every challenge as a gift, every obstacle as a teacher, every hour poured as progress. Adaptability became your weapon. When life didn't cooperate, you answered with resourcefulness. You didn't retreat from the storm, you used it. Resilience became your identity. By day 90, you didn't just bounce back, you bounced forward. Stronger, sharper, more certain, more free. Learning became your lifestyle. Not after failure, but during it. Questions replaced frustration. Curiosity replaced defeated. You discovered not weakness, but wisdom, and now you stand at the edge. This 90-day window closes behind you along with the old you. Ahead lies the who you are. You can choose to let this pass, let it echo and fade like so many good intentions. Or you can carry the fire forward, never letting it die, because this is no longer a video, it's a covenant. Between your present and your potential. Between your habits and your destiny. Between the comfort you knew and the greatness you're becoming. So here's your final question. Will you go back to ease, to excuses, to lukewarm effort? Or will you step forward into discipline, into clarity, into your unfinished greatness? Because the next 90 days, they don't build themselves. You do. One choice, one sunrise, one disciplined breath. And when you look back, you won't see a series of days. You'll see the rebirth of you. The next 90 days will break you, or they will build you. Decide, act, and let your life answer the call.